So we were back on the NYSED.gov Curriculum Instruction, Computer Science, and Digital Fluency Learning Standards page. This time we're going to pull up the standards examples, which is located about the middle way down on the page. You'll see a link that says Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards Examples K-12. Click on that to open up the PDF. And then I'm going to pause for a moment to scroll down since it's at the bottom of this document. But feel free to open this up on another tab for yourself and scroll to the digital literacy section. So now you see that I'm on page 26 of this PDF. We're going to be looking at the standards from pages 26 through 30 and really get a look at what the standards look like in action. All of these activities or lesson ideas were put together by educators across the state who met and talked about the standards and then thought about how they can be implemented into the classroom. This isn't the only way that you can use these standards in your class. They're just suggested ideas to kind of get the ball rolling and help spark ideas for you. So you'll notice the standard identifiers are the same as what they were on the actual standards themselves. So if you want to open up your standards document on another tab, or if you have a printout, you'll be able to read the standard and then look at the examples. That is a really great way for you to kind of see what the standard says, what the clarifying statement says, and then see what an example could be for your classroom. So the first one we remember was keyboarding. So here in kindergarten, we see that students can practice spelling and their sight words using the keyboard to type those in. They could create little alphabet books, anything along those lines. And then as you move up to the high school ones, they're trying to fill in up maybe a blank keyboard from memory, which I don't think I could do very well, but definitely is something you can take a peek at and see. You can see that they could learn to write mathematical equations and DBQs for more practice on the keyboard. As we scroll down to some other ones, we can talk about using conferencing tools. It could be using Kami to use the voice typing and then having conferences between the teacher and the student, or using something like the comments on a Google slide to be able to have those conversations between our students. You can have your students create videos. They could practice their keyword searches. They could also look for articles that were published in the past and also look for things that are Creative Commons using basic search tools to be able to do that. This is a great time to lean on your multimedia specialist if you're lucky enough to have a librarian in your district, because they've been teaching these lessons for quite some time as they align very well to their standards. So this is a great time to talk to them about how to implement these standards into your classroom. You'll see that science and social studies, ELA, all of those are kind of listed in these standards or in these examples, but you can definitely take a peek and think about how you can use these in your classroom. You're going to start to see that it really talks about using digital tools, showcasing their learning through digital stories and portfolios, having them build videos, anything along those lines. Anytime you're using technology in a way to learn what it is they need to know in the classroom, but they're practicing using these tech tools as well, that's when you're really going to hit the digital use standards or the digital use subconcept area of the digital literacy standards. Moving into digital citizenship, you'll see that a lot of these have to do with taking a look at what we can see online and thinking about what we should keep public and what we can keep private, looking at the terms and conditions and the rules for all the websites that we use, whether it's in school or looking at the ones, the social media uses that our students do outside of school. You can talk about having the students create infographics, how-to books, diagrams, anything about what happens with data that we put out on the internet. We can have our students do cyber senior type of activities where they can teach others how to be safe online and how to maintain contact with family members and such. We could have our youth talk about what's okay and what's not okay, online and offline behaviors. And again, we can have our students even write songs, put up posters, research consequences of cyberbullying. There's just so much you can do that really ties very well into what we're already doing in the classroom. So take a moment and look through these examples before you move on to the next part of this course.